You're watching National Streaming Sports, over 20 podcasts, 70 shows, and a 3.5-star rating on Roku TV.
I'll do this. I just hit up the Instagram. I was like, shoot, I forgot to do Instagram. So literally, Instagram is just starting right now, and everybody else is here. I don't know if anybody's watching, but that's okay. And that's the royal we. Thom and myself are going to enjoy each other's company, and if you guys come along, that'll be great. Tony Signs 420 is over there on IG. In fact, let me put the I'm gonna put the link up for YouTube, so anybody that pops in later can say, "Hey, where do you need to go?" It's right up there, right after Tony Signs, and I just sent it to everybody. Tony, come over to YouTube. There's the link. It's easy. You can see everybody, and we can see you. But thank you for joining me there on Instagram. So somebody's watching. I'm not sure who else is, but again, that's okay. Thom, you and I are here. And like Mr. Hand said, if you're here and I'm here, doesn't make it our time. It's our time. So what's going on, brother?
And we will enjoy the Raiders together in this space.
Yeah, in this space. There you go. I'll have a Vita Refresh and some crystal fuzzy bubbly water. I've been drinking this a lot, and I've been walking a lot, or at least moving around a lot. I know I should be talking Raider stuff, but let me just go. I've cleaned up like lots of rooms in the house, so I've gotten rid of all of the stuff. So now when my daughter from California comes to visit, and when my son, if he comes over, he's got a room now to stay in for the night. And if he brings his daughter, she's got like a little futon to wear. Or the other thing is I got a really nice couch where I got the big nice leather things here. I can accommodate my family now, and it's friggin' awesome. So here's to me for busting my ass, Thom. I know that I have to do that once again, but it looks fucking great. I'll show you one of these days. I'll show you pictures.
Absolutely. Just make sure you keep it clean for the grandkids, okay?
Oh, for the volume oh yeah, no. My pictures are of the rooms. Are of the rooms.
Right.
None
Right.
of the dirty pirate pictures. That's for
Right. Absolutely.
that's Raiderettes. That's Raiderettes. So how you
Absolutely.
been, man? It's been a little bit.
I've been good. I've been really good. It's summer, and of course and some of you know out there I'm an 8th grade teacher, so I'm off for the summer. But that doesn't mean I'm off. I mean, it just means I'm not teaching the kids. So
Yeah.
I've got lots of things going on. I've been jumping on to various podcasts here and there. Yeah, I still don't know what's going on with the Only Nation podcast. We seem to be on a little bit of an extended hiatus right now, but I'm still working on some things. And I think you may remember that last year I actually jumped into some college football and did a lot of weekly stuff with the American Athletic Conference. And I'm going to do that again this year and start with my previews of all the teams and then do week by week little YouTube snippets on results and predictions. And I actually did pretty well last year. So we'll see if I can continue to do that and we'll see. But having pushed all that aside, let's talk about Raiders a little bit. And there's a lot of talk right now. There's a lot of talk about all 4 teams, and people up and down the message boards that I see are saying that the AFC West is going to be by far the toughest division in the NFL this year, top to bottom. And I'm seeing that a lot of places are predicting that every team in the AFC West is going to win at least 8 games this year. That would be a stretch. And again, that's going to be a tall order. And of course, we're going to get to see right out of the chutes. The very first game of the year is going to be in in Brazil of all places. We'll get to see Kansas City and the Chargers square up against each other in Sao Paulo. So we'll get to see pretty quickly the balance of power. And a lot of people are saying that this is the year that the Chiefs relinquish that crown, and nothing would make me happier than to see that. Although who ends up with that crown, we've kind of debated back and forth. And Jack, you and I have talked about this, and I kind of side with Sean Payton and the Broncos on this. They experienced the same things that the Raiders did several years ago, being in cap hell when they decided to throw all their marbles into Russell Wilson, and it could have been even worse than it was. They were on the verge of signing him to a multi-year contract and being in cap hell, much like the Cleveland Browns were in when they signed Deshaun Watson. They walked away from that. They got their young quarterback, so I think things are looking a lot better for them than they were. And much like things are looking much better for the Raiders. But I keep hearing over and over and over about these Los Angeles Chargers and how they're going to take the AFC by storm and how they're going to be the best team in the AFC and they're finally going to assume their place in the Super Bowl. But let me tell you, Jack, and this is between you and me and all the listeners out there. There's two things there's 2 things I do not respect. Okay? There's 2 things I do not respect. One is Los Angeles Clippers basketball, and the other is Los Angeles Chargers football.
Okay.
So those are the 2 things I do not respect. So regardless of what kind of hype that team gets this year, and I've been hearing all kinds of talk because you've got Omarion Hampton, who we talked about the Raiders drafting at running backs. They've got the stud running back coming in, and they've also got Najee Harris. And I heard one podcast actually compare those 2 to remember the old running back tandem we used to have, Tyrone Wheatley and Zach.
Yep.
Exactly. And they're saying that this is going to be the new version of that. Well, let me tell you, the proof is in the pudding, and they're going to have to put up or they're just going to have to shut up. And year in and year out, yes, I know the Chargers made the playoffs last year, but they haven't made a lot of noise for years. And again, until they show me that they are deserving of being put on the top of that mountain, to me, they're not on the top of that mountain, and they won't be. And I know that Jim Harbaugh has a pedigree. He's the guy that Al Davis wanted. He's the last coach that Al Davis really pushed for to come in and coach the Raiders before his death. But I know that as successful as Harbaugh has been, he also leaves a wake of destruction where he goes. And I think that's going to happen in Los Angeles as well.
Actually, I'm kind of glad you said that. For those that don't know, I actually did a show on Tuesday with the Lockdown Defense podcast on YouTube. Okay. I found out tonight it actually broadcast on my channel, and I didn't realize that. I gave Coach Defense, who I respect a lot, I gave him a YouTube, I thought was the numbers, and apparently it was the numbers for an old show. So we're going to have to work that out. But for those that can go on my YouTube page, look up under Captain Jack's Latest, and you will see a rebroadcast of Tuesday's show. And it should be there. And I rebranded it, NFL, what is it? Whatever the heck the title was. But it was with Coach Defense. It was with Alex Givens, the Charger guy. It was with Robert, the other San Diego Charger talking head, who I'll just say I've had some issues with in the past. But we were pretty civil. And then there was also another gentleman that is the foursome on that show. And the reason why I was on for that show on Tuesday is that the NFL Nation Live brand is not done, but we're kind of on hiatus too, basically due to the scheduling of Ref Guru and Wayne Mabry, aka Violator. So we're not going to be able to do all of the shows that we did this past year on Wednesdays, but we're collaborating with Coach Defense, great guy, and we're going to be doing shows with him. So look for that. And if I can get my YouTube number or back, the channel, whatever the F that thing is that I have, so it will go on live. When I get that squared away, then it'll happen and you'll see it live when I can go on. And I still plan to do things with Miss Peggy, although what I hope that I could do with Miss Peggy, and I'm sorry, I dropped the thought. The NFL Nation Live with the Coach Defense podcast is primarily a Los Angeles Charger flavored podcast.
You mean it caters to five
like
people?
My show here, where there's a lot of Raider fans that pop in. Well, okay, maybe 6 now because I've actually been there as well. But yeah, it kind of caters to Charger fans, but there's everybody that's over on the show, so that was nice there. So I did not even use the word gargler on the entire show. I didn't swear because the coach said, "Hey, Cap, if you don't mind, try to keep it," And I said, "I can do that." I know, and I know I can do that. I didn't swear. I didn't mention garglers by name. I kept it civil. I was a little unleashed, but in a nice way. And the guys were very happy that I was fun without being over the top. So my long story, and I'm sorry to say this, Tom, the long story is that Coach and Robert seem to think they are coming up. And I didn't say anything bad, but I did say on that show, just like you and I have stated before, that we both believe that the Broncos are going to win the AFC West this year. We both believe that. And because I was on the show and I was on my best behavior, I didn't say that I think the Chargers are trash because it was my first time on the show and I wanted to at least ingratiate myself a little bit. But I agree with you in the fact that the Broncos, I believe, are going to be heading to the top. I think the Chiefs are coming back down. I think the Chargers are coming back a bit. And I think the Raiders are going to be popping up. So there is going to be a dogfight in this division. I've said this before. I don't think there's going to be more than a 4-game split between top and bottom. They're going to be separated by 4 games. That's what I predict. And that's what hopefully we'll do that. I'm glad EMAC finally went over to YouTube. And I like this one. I bet $60 at the casino that the Raiders will make the playoffs. Well, thanks, EMAC. I think that it's not a bad bet, but as I've said, my floor really is 9. That's my floor. I think that 9, or have I said 8? I can't remember what it was. Maybe I said 7. Maybe I keep going up as the weeks go by. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's 8. But to be honest, 7 is not bad. 8 would be better, and maybe it's not. Maybe as it progresses, maybe I'm going up in my floor. My floor is going up. The ceiling was whatever. But I think that it's good. Like you, the Raiders are going to be in the mix, and this, like as well as you said, the Raiders and the Chargers and the Broncos and the Chiefs. This division is going to be what it used to be in the 70s, where everybody took each other's heads off, and it was the most It was the most fun and competitive division in football, like the NFC. Let me get it right. The NFC Central in the olden days, the black and blue division when it was in Central. The NFC Central was the black and blue division, and that was the best division in football because those guys have kicked each other's ass too. I think the Raiders and this division are going to be like that. AJ Hines, good to see you, brother. Come on over to YouTube. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, and again, like you said, I think the ceiling for me, the floor for me is 7 for the team this year, and I'm going to stick with that. The ceiling, I think, is 10. And that's only because they've got a really tough schedule this year. I know people say that, yeah, they've got a last place schedule, but you have to play Philadelphia and Washington, 2 teams that ended up in the NFC Championship. You have to play the Chiefs twice. That's the team that ended up in the AFC Championship. So again, there's 4 games right there against teams that either went to the Super Bowl or were right on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl. So again, you've got a really tough road to hoe there. Now, having said that, the Raiders start off, I think, in a lot better shape than most when you look at the early schedule. The Chargers coming out of the gate, they've got Kansas City, and then they've got the Raiders, and then they've got the Broncos. So they've got 3 AFC West foes back to back to back. So they could very easily, the Chargers could very easily end up 0-3 coming out of the gate. So again, it really depends. The Raiders, if they do well against the Patriots in week 1, and Jack, you and I have talked about this. The Raiders open up in New England for the first time since 1971, when the New England Patriots were quarterbacked by a rookie by the name of Jim Plunkett. So we'll see if things are better. Plunkett and the Patriots won that day, so we're hoping that this will be a better result. But if the Raiders can be strong that day, and if they can take care of business in week 2 against the Chargers, they would end up with a 2-0 start. Now, again, then they've got to take their trip to the East Coast, to my hometown and the D.C. area, where they played the Washington Commanders in week 3. That will be that'll be a really tough game. And that game really worries me because As you well remember, Jack, I think it was week 3 or right around week 3 in the 2017 regular season when the Raiders made a
Oh
trip to
yeah.
Washington, and that's where things started to
I
fall apart. That's where Del Rio started to lose the team, and where things really started to fall apart for the Raiders, and we really haven't gotten it back since. I know we made the playoffs in 2021, but in my opinion, that was when things started to really swirl down the toilet out of control. Some of it was political, some of it was football, and some of it was what we categorize as other. But it was a nasty cocktail combination. It went down in the city of D.C. right here in my hometown, and I saw it unfold. And it's almost like the worst things that happen, and you can sit back and not do anything about it, and just watch it unfold, and just put your hand to your face and say, "Oh, here we go." So I'm hoping that that's not the case, but I have a much better feeling about where this team is for lots of different reasons. This time last year, we were kind of riding the high of the Antonio Pierce train. Antonio Pierce really kind of grabbed the psyche of the Raiders and the energy of the Raiders, and everybody was ready to go. But Antonio Pierce, God love him, was not experienced, and he really bit off more than he could chew. But I don't think that the brains behind the operation really helped him out too much. And again, they brought lots of experienced people in to kind of be his help, and as far as assistant coaches and consultants and things. But I don't think it really gave Antonio Pierce the help that he needed. Uh, the guy that we have on board now, Pete Carroll, he didn't need any help. He knows this league, and he knows what he needs to do. He knows what he can put on the table. He's got a quarterback. Now, bear in mind, a 13-year vet, which is no spring chicken, but uh, Smith can throw the ball. He can. He can air the ball out, and Gino can do the job. And I'm confident that he can do that. He's got some offensive pieces around him. We just have to make sure that both sides of the ball do their part. And I'll talk in a minute about some of the players that I'm going to be kind of looking at and focusing on. But I feel like we're in a better position. I really do. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid like I was last year. I'm saying probably 7 or 8 wins, and to me, that's okay. I mean, I'd like it to be more, but
yeah.
you can't turn this thing around in a year. For the Raiders fans who are saying, "Oh, we have Pete Carroll, we're going to win 10, 11, 12 games this year," slow your roll. Slow your roll. Enjoy the fact that we at least have a stable team and we have good coaching, which we didn't have before. I mean, let's be honest. We haven't had good coaching for a while, and I'll include Gruden 2.0 in that as well. You can say what you want, but we need to return to the ways of stability and the ways of being able to, in the words of Al Davis, take what we want, not what the other team gives you, but take what we want. We're not there yet, but I think we'll get there. And Pete Carroll has got the energy, he's got the motivation, he's got the skins on the wall, and I think he can put
Mhm.
together a defense and an offense that will really work. And I'm anxious to see what he puts on the table.
Yeah, and I'm gonna address these two comments by my shipmate Sharif, and I said it correctly now. Sharif Salah Khan. I don't put that extra in there. I'm getting it though, Sharif, aka Black Thanos. And thanks for watching the show. And I also saw that Marcus is here, so great to see you, Marcus. And my gal Dory is here, so love goes out to Dory. Anybody over on Instagram, please come on over to YouTube. The no head coach will get with a depleted roster. Okay, Telesco got fired because he lined AP up for failure. That may be true. They're both gone. They're both gone. So if Telesco lined him up for failure, then he got shit canned too. And depleted roster, sure. I mean, when you have Jimmy Garbagiopolo as your guy, and then you had a very still young Aiden O'Connell who takes over from that, and then you get the remnants of Booger. Booger, what's his nose? It's not Booger McFarland, but Booger, guy who eats his boogers. And I was higher on him than what happened. And yeah, depleted roster, sure, Sharif was depleted, but there was so much hype, and it was smoke and mirrors, and we got hoodwinked. Okay, and say what you will, I love AP as a motivator. He's a crowd pleaser. Okay, but he's a shitty coach. He's a shitty coach. So, yeah, if he got set up, with Jack Jacobs was gone. Adams was not gone. He was shit canned about a third of the way through the season. Okay, yeah, the defense had some injuries, but you know what? Don't blame it all on that. Our coaching sucked. AP and Getsy. The only good coach we had last year were the ones that were still on the roster now, and that's Graham. And surprisingly, the special teams coach that everybody thought sucked from the Broncos is still there on staff, which should tell you something. Coaching. Okay. So, Crimea River, this is a rebuild, retool, reformulation. And this is year 0 because they got to get rid of the dead weight. And they're doing it, Sharif, and we'll see what happens. And Sharif is on record stating that the Patriots game is going to be a hard game, which I agree with. It's going to be a lot harder than people think, because going to New England always is a bit that bite off and chew. Going to Washington to play a playoff team is going to be a bit hard to chew. And playing and I can say it on my show, playing the Garglers on a Monday night is going to be a good game for the opener, but it's going to be, it's not easy. And Chewy, thank you for being here, Shootmate. But this is a new year. It's a reformulation, and the coaching is a hell of a lot better. And we're plugging and playing on players that have more potential than we've had in years. So if Telesco had a shitty roster and AP was a shitty coach, that was last year's news. And we're getting a lot better, and we've retooled. And T3 is going to go into that. Tom's going to go into some of those particular players and how we've gotten better.
Well, I will tell you one big mistake that Telesco made, which is still in the books, when he brought in Christian Wilkins and spent a boatload on him. He was injured then. He continues to be injured. He's wearing a walking boot, and I hear rumors that he might not even play this year. That he might have to sit out another year. If that's the case, then what do the Raiders do? Do they hang on to him? They try to trade him? Well, here's the thing. They're in kind of cap hell with him because he's got a $37 million cap hit. So they're going to pretty much have to ride it out with him this year, and then hope that he can come back maybe in 2026. So you may not see too much of Christian Wilkins this year. So that's going to be a huge failed experiment with Telesco. And everybody was saying that he was going to really make the difference, and he barely made a scratch. So again, you can say all you want with Telesco in terms of drafting the stud tight end that we have, and that's all great. That's wonderful, but it's for every one good thing, there seemed to have been like 2 negative things. You can't survive like that as a GM. So I'm not surprised at all that we made the switch on that. I'm going to give you a couple of different players here. I'm going to give you 5 players who I think are going to be breakout players this year. And after that, we'll talk about a couple players that may end up not making it. That may either be on the bubble or they may be on the team, but still kind of trying to find their way through to the end of the season. Now, the first guy that I have, who I have as being my breakout player of the year, is none other than number 51, Malcolm Kuntz. I think he is going to be a breakout player this year. The Raiders put a lot of faith in his recovery from injury, and although he showed some flashes in 2023, this is the year where he's going to have to really prove himself and justify the Raiders' decision to roll with him. Now, I'll bring this out. Derek Burgess, you remember this name. Back in 2005, he logged the most sacks in a season by a Raider with 16. And here's why I mention this. Last year as a team, the Raiders only had 37 total sacks. Now I'm going to put it down right now that Malcolm Kuntz is going to get 10 sacks this year, and that Max is going to challenge Burgess for the single season record. But now Malcolm Kuntz is my number one guy as far as breakout players. My number two breakout player this year is starting center Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, last year, he came in as a rookie and he stepped into that role as captain of the O-line. Now, with a healthy and cohesive offensive line this year, I think that JPJ could easily step up and be maybe a second or maybe a third year Pro Bowler on the offensive line. And again, that's pretty heady stuff for a second year player. For someone who had to come in and kind of jump in, take over a position, which he did, and then try to make his way through the season with a rookie head coach. So again, JPJ is my number two breakout player. My number three breakout player is going to be a surprise here. He's on defense. His name is cornerback Darian Porter. Now he comes in as a rookie, third rounder from Iowa State, and he's not a lock to be a starter, but I'm going to go ahead and put him in there. He's 6'3", but he's fast. He runs a 4.3 40, and he finds his way to the ball, and that's the thing. And he's a former receiver and kick returner, so you might see him returning a few punts as well. So he can make his way on special teams as well as in that defensive backfield. So keep an eye out for number 26, which you might remember this, Captain Jack, is Dr. Death's old number. Remember old Dr. Death? So Darian Porter is going to be rocking that number 26 in a cornerback spot at the same spot that Skip Thomas was. So let's see if we can replicate that. Now, number 4 on my list for breakout players is linebacker Tommy Eichenberg. Now, I had high hopes for him last year as a rookie, but injury and inconsistency kind of wrecked it for him. So I think he steps into a much better situation this year, and he's going to elevate himself to the kind of player that I believed he could be last year. Now, I think the presence of veteran linebacker Devin White is going to help young Mr. Eichenberger develop in ways that he was not able to last year. So Devin White has the skins, he's got the motivation, and he's got the wherewithal. So I think he's going to be able to teach some of those young linebackers coming in. But Eichenberger is one I've got my eye on as far as that linebacking core. Is he going to wear the green dot? Maybe, maybe not. He might end up with it by the end of the season, but if he can just develop and become a tackling machine and be a presence on the field in that middle, that's enough for me. Number 5 on my list of breakout players is safety Jeremy Chinn. Now, he's one of the ones who I felt got away from us during the 2020 draft, and he had 4 good years with a very bad Carolina Panthers team. And again, then he had a great year last year with the Washington Commanders. As I mentioned, I'm here in the D.C. area. I get to see Jeremy Chinn a lot. So I was really excited when the Raiders brought him on board. Now, Chinn is the type of guy that Pete Carroll can anchor back on the back end of that defense. And he's still a young man. Chinn only has 3 interceptions in his entire NFL career. Here's my prediction. I see him matching that total in 2025.
Yeah.
So he only had 3 total interceptions for his career. I see him matching that and getting at least 3 interceptions this year. So there are my 5 breakout players. You got Malcolm Kuntz, you got JPJ, Darian Porter, Tommy Eichenberg, and Jeremy Chinn. Those are my 5 breakout players for this year. What do you think?
Okay. I got that. It treats like a whole 3, huh? Now that's over. Now Jeremy Chinn was not a ball hawk. He was a tackling machine. Okay. So, but I think that, and I'm thinking Thom is saying that not only is he going to be at the tackling machine that he was, but his ball hawking skills are going to be a hell of a lot better. Okay. And that leads me to a couple of the things that I'm going to throw at you as well. What do you make of the reports? And again, I hate to look at clickbait shit that, or did he say it himself? JPJ told AP, no, I'm playing center. Is that because I saw it as clickbait? Or has that been, stated that is actually true? That he basically told Antonio Pierce that, hey, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the center. Yeah, I thought shit, and I did not zoom out on Thom. So hopefully we can have Thom come back. Matt Marinovich, good to see you as well. Yeah, and Clayton Heron, my one of my buddy Broncos. Thank you for that. Smash the like, and yeah, I wanted to ask the next thing, which I hope that we get Thom back, was, who are going to be our starting three linebackers? Because I tell you what, I know Pratt's going to be one. So if Pratt's one, and Roberts is the guy we went out to sign because of, we lose, what do you call it? Spillane. Okay. So I think that Roberts is going to be there. I'm thinking Pratt's going to be there. Devin White is a great linebacker if he can stay healthy. And don't count out seeing Amari Gaynor, on a lot of the coverage plays, because he is definitely a coverage guy. So that's what I wanted to ask about to Thom. Hopefully Thom will come back. Came down from our heat wave since he won the Wilmington. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad that and yeah, that's what I was thinking there, Matt, was the fact that it wasn't BS, it was well deserved. So that I wanted to make sure that was stated. And it's, we stated last year, maybe I stated last year, said, yeah, he's going to be our center next year, which is this year. He's going to be our center by next year, which actually happened. But I said he can learn as the guard and learn what he needs to know, and then he'll come back in as the center. I hope Thom gets back. Gosh darn it, because we were getting into that really good flow. And I'm still alive. Thank goodness. I hope it's not just me, but hopefully we'll get Thom back. But yeah, I definitely want to ask about that. There we go. And I saw you freeze up, and I'm like, dude, I didn't do that. Okay, you were festered on the screen for a bit. You were just like,
I was festered.
Yeah. And Shreve is coming in. Pinch hit. Yeah, you'll be there, Shreve. Once we start getting people in there. But yeah, we have lots of thunderstorms here in the DC area, so I'm not surprised that we lost a little internet connectivity there. Yeah, well, we do down here too. When in the summer, on my shows, if I say, hey, if I go, it's because Florida decided to, have rainstorms and thunder, and the internet is out. It's nothing I do. But welcome back. I don't know if you got a chance to hear what I was.
Let me let you. Yeah, you got caught off right when you were talking about Jerry McChin being a tackling machine.
Yeah, tackling machine, and I think that he's going to be a tackling machine as well as more of a ball hawk in this defense. So yeah, a whole three. But yeah, I think I can agree with that. I can see 3 interceptions just this year as well. Remember, Merrick was supposed to be this safety guru and got the diva, and Merrick only had like what 2 or 3, maybe.
Yeah.
And he never panned. I mean, and he got better last year, which is why he got that rich contract. Okay,
Right.
so that's it. And Matt Chin's going to be all over.
I will take Jeremy Chin over Trayvon Merrick, and I think that's an upgrade. And I will
Yes.
never forgive, to this day, I will never forgive Trayvon Merrick for dropping the interception against the Washington Commanders that would have won that game for him. So
Would
again,
have won the game.
I have a bias there kind of against him. Great players make great plays. You hear that said over and over. And his first opportunity he had to make a great play, he didn't do it. And so I know he had good plays over the course of his career, but that one always stuck in my craw.
Yeah, no, I got pissed at that too. Is that you get that interception, we win the game. Discussion's over. And that was a game that I hated losing. There are games that, I mean, I don't like to lose any game, but there are games that you just absolutely despise and loathe for losing because you should have won. Like the example for, Tony is over there on Instagram. Tony Bo, thank you for being here. Come on over to YouTube, Tony. But when you drop the interception, or when the officials fuck your quarterback by saying that he was out of bounds or down, and you end up getting another set of downs, or you turn it over to the fucking Jaguars for the last game in Oakland when the officials fuck up. It's games like that, little mistakes that the Raiders made or that the officials made. I'm not even going to the tuck fuck. It's things like that. Anna, good to see you. It's so good to see Anna Diaz here as well. But yeah, games that you hate losing. But I remember that game of Merrick. All you had to do was catch the ball.
Yeah.
So,
I think about the Miami game in 2020. The face mask on Fitzpatrick rather, and then the Miami gets the field goal at the end. I think about the Baker Mayfield 2022 game when again all you have to do is just
they fucked up the call against Tiller, and it's like
Jerry Tillery.
And we talked about that on the show with Ref Guru. It said they fucked up the call. And because of that call, they get the second life and they go down and friggin' little Baker Scrappy fuck twat. Oh, I can't stand Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I live in fake pirate land, so I gotta watch that bastard. But then on his way, he just gets given the and he got a playbook and he was there in 3 days and they fucking set us up. I'm sorry. I'm really honorary. Yeah. When
no, absolutely,
yeah, no, I apologize, man.
So here are my 3 players. 4 actually. I'm going to give you 4 players. Tom, I think are going to be on the bubble.
Tom, before you do that,
yeah,
because I had some questions for you when you dropped reception, when you dropped comp.
Sure,
I was talking about JPJ basically going in and telling AP, oh, I'm the center. And he laid it out for him. And I think that was, I knew it was clickbait, but I wanted to make sure it was confirmed. And actually, Matt Marinovich did confirm that he did say that it was on him. So good for him. I like that. The guy has balls. But the other thing I wanted to ask is, it was about the linebacking core. Because we got Pratt and we got Elandon Roberts in free agency. So those guys are they're guaranteed spots, right? White, if he's not injured, it's going to be between White and Eichenberg for that third spot. But also don't count out Gaynor to be the coverage linebacker, because that guy is going to be the coverage linebacker, because our linebackers have not been able to cover since the 70s, if you really want to say it like that, okay? Jack Squirick did it in the Super Bowl, thank God. But other than that, linebackers covering are two words for the Raiders that don't go together. So who do you think ultimately are going to be our 3 starting linebackers based upon that, hit? And we got the rookie as well. I call them the Berg brothers because it's Eichenberg and Kratzenberg or Schitzenberg, whatever. It's 2 Bergs, the Kraut brothers. So the rookie ain't going to play much this year, but I think that who is it going to be?
I think Pratt, Erob, and Eichenberg are going to be your starters. That's who I have penciled in early. Now again, training camp could say a lot, and of course there could be some moves made during the off season or during training camp. You might have a really good linebacker on a team that has too many good linebackers, and they get rid of one. So again, I've seen that happen before. Devin White, I think, is going to be more of a player coach. I think, like I mentioned, I think that Eichenberg is going to benefit from Devin White's experience, but I see him being kind of a piece player. But I don't see him as being a driving force on that defense. So again, Pratt, Erob, and Eichenberger are the guys that I'm really kind of penciling in early. Now Amari Burney could factor in as far as I mean Gainer. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
Amari
Gainer's
Gainer.
there.
I meant Gainer. So we have a Gator versus a Tar Heel there. So yeah, so
Yeah,
so the Tar Heel's still there. So
Tar Heel's still there.
we'll see. We'll see if he's able to. Now, I did predict that he would make the roster last year, and he did. Now, again, hopefully he'll be able to see a little bit more playing time, but I see him being as a rotational piece, not as a starter. But again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
But
And
the
I guess
guy,
I'm throwing one more question at you. Okay.
yeah,
Because you told me to pepper you. So here it comes, salt and pepper, baby.
absolutely, throw it at me.
Throw it. I'll say so. And I like the kid we drafted at cornerback too. Okay. The question is who are our starting cornerbacks? Is it really going to be Stokes? Because I mean, going out on a limb, giving the job to a guy that is a first round bust from other places and saying you're our starter, and then you have Jacorian Bennett on the other side as the other penciled in starter, when you have the kid that we drafted that has all of the physical ability in the world. Okay. So, and I'm probably forgetting others because again, you got DeCamarion DeCam. That's another guy that back there that could go in there. And Taylor at safety, by the way, we still have him, correct? The safety Taylor that played at Air Force. I think it was still. I think he's still on our team, but it's like
Yes.
the secondary is going to be so much better. But I still want to know, who do you think is going to be our starting cornerbacks and our starting safety? Because I know Chin's one.
Between the three, Ja'Cory Bennett, DeCam Richardson, and Darian Porter, I think those are your you're going to get 2 starters out of that group. I'll be honest with you right now. As excited as I was that Eric Stokes was signed, I'm not sure he makes the team. And again,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he does. Like you said, I don't want to put my full faith in a guy who's a failed former high first round pick. If he couldn't make it before, a change of venue, change of scenery is not going to make that much of a difference. So, and again, why would you do that when you can go ahead and give reps to a good young talent who's in there? So again, I think the starting corners between DeCam, Jacorian Bennett, and Darian Porter, I think those are your starting cornerbacks. Now, again, I could be wrong. There could be other guys coming in, but Stokes, if he makes the team, and that's a big if. If he makes the team, it's as a backup. And again, I think he's got a long way to go, I think, to really bring the confidence level for the team
Want
coming in.
to see it
As far as
where we need to.
safeties go, between Polamalu and Chin, I think we're pretty much set. Polamalu, I think, did enough to garner respect and really stepped up when he needed to in a depleted secondary. And I think he's got a lot of moxie and a lot of swagger. So I see him kind of carving his way in that strong safety spot. And then, of course, Jeremy Chin on the back end. We mentioned before he was a tackling machine before, but I think if he's able to be in that back end and be a ball hawk and go to where the ball is, he's going to be a lot more of an interception machine than a tackling machine. And again, Chris Smith the third year player. We haven't really heard much of him. I saw him play a lot in college, and he played pretty damn well. I really expected him to step up, and maybe he just didn't have the opportunity. Maybe he didn't have the coaches to put him in place. But again, there's another additional safety piece that could be relevant this year that hasn't been relative for the last two. So I think between the safeties, or you got three players I mentioned, and between the corners, you've got three that I've mentioned as well. So the corners are only going to be as good though as the pass rush. If you don't get rush on the passer, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, the receivers can run around all day, do under routes, long routes, and if the quarterback is able to just kind of pick and choose what the targets are going to be, it's going to be a long day for Raiders on defense. The one thing that the Raiders haven't been able to do consistently is to mount a solid pass rush. When you've got a guy like Max Crosby, you can double him all day if you don't have anybody on the other side. And I'm not gonna rest my laurels on a guy like Snowden on the other side. He showed flashes, sure, but he's not going to be a guy you can depend on. So again, that's where Malcolm Kuntz is really going to have to step up on the other side. Which brings me to the other guy who's kind of the missing piece and kind of the Joker X factor, if you will, and that's our buddy, our first round pick from a couple of years ago. He's gonna really have Tyree Wilson's gonna have to step up. And the question is, are we gonna put him as a rotational piece on the edge rusher, or is he gonna move into the inside? And he might need to move into the inside if Christian Wilkins is not coming back. And maybe he does.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where he can butter his bread, and maybe that's where he can end up with a good contract. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Adam Butler this year, but maybe if Tyree Wilson can do what he did a lot of last year and work in the middle, and we can kind of substitute him and do an inside outside thing, he can really become kind of a hybrid tackle edge rusher and really do well. But again, he's going to be the guy that's going to have to really step up this year. He's my guy he's on the bubble now. He's going to be going into a contract year pretty soon, so he's going to have to make it. This is his make or break year. If he doesn't step up and grab something, whether it's a defensive tackle position or edge rusher position, he's gonna be walking out of Las Vegas at the end of the year. They're not going to roll with him a fourth year if he hasn't established his niche. So there's one guy who's kind of on the bubble. Another guy who's on the bubble, and this is a guy who, when he was drafted, I never would have thought he would have been on the bubble, is Dylan Parham, the guard. He was really inconsistent last year. Jordan Meredith stepped up unexpectedly and was able to really hold down some of the guard spots, and a lot of people were shrugging their shoulders and saying, "Well, why do we even have Dylan Parham here?" I think that if Dylan really kind of sinks into that guard position and focuses just on that, because I was thinking at one point that Dylan was going to take over for Andre James and become the starting center when he came in, but now with JPJ, that's all laid to rest. But Dylan Parham needs to just be a guard. It needs to be a good guard. And he needs to really solidify one side of that line. If he can do that, then we'll be in good shape. If he can't, he might be looking at another team at the end of this year. Now, again, I'm not saying that
Mhm.
Dylan Parham is bad, but I'm saying that he needs to step up in ways that he has not stepped up before. The other guy that was on the bubble, and we've already mentioned him, is that's Eric Stokes, cornerback. When you are a high draft pick and you don't step up in the role and you fail, again, a change in venue is not necessarily going to guarantee that you're going to do better. It may, but again, a lot of complementary things have to happen. Yeah, and I agree, Matt. Tyree is a boomer bust player this year, absolutely. And James was our weakest link. I'm surprised that James wasn't replaced at center sooner. I think it was a mistake that Tom Cable and of course Gruden gave green light on this, dismantled that entire offensive line. We had a great offensive line, and they just dismantled the whole thing, and then brought Leatherwood on top of that. So again, we took what was the strength of the team and made it not only just a weakness of the team, but a liability. But again,
Yeah.
I'll get back. Eric Stokes is my bubble player. That's my third one. My fourth bubble player. Again, you ready for this, Jack? Are you sitting down? My fourth bubble
I'm
player.
sitting.
My fourth bubble player is Aiden O'Connell. All right. Let this sink in, everybody. I've seen Cam
Okay.
Miller play in college. I've seen Cam Miller play in
Mhm.
college. I've seen his ability to read defenses, his ability to make long throws, short throws, his ability to work things with his legs, and to identify and look at defenses and see where they can be penetrated. I didn't see that a lot from Aiden O'Connell last year. Now, I'm not saying that Aiden O'Connell can't be a good backup somewhere, and I want to give him his due for stepping up and doing a good job for the Raiders in the time he was there. But I see Cam Miller coming in and taking over that backup role as quarterback. And if the Raiders only take two quarterbacks, if they only have two quarterbacks on their roster, three if they carry somebody as a practice squad player, and Aiden O'Connell is not going to be practice squad. If they don't have him on the roster, some team is going to pick him up because he is
Right.
a bona fide backup quarterback somewhere, and he will be somewhere. But he's one of my players on the bubble. I would not be surprised if Cam Miller really does the things that I think he's capable of doing and stepping up as a rookie. I think that he could take over that backup spot behind Geno Smith, and Aiden O'Connell's days with the Raiders would then be numbered. And again, that's something that you would not have heard me say at this time
Sorry,
last
Tom.
year.
Charlie. Oh, folks, by the way, I apologize. I have had cramps and pain and hurts. So if I get up, Charlie is calling my name, and I get hoarse when Charlie gets that. But yeah, it's a leg cramp right in the upper hamstring. So I'm gonna try to deal with the pain, and hopefully it'll go away. But I was on the show on Tuesday, and I was moving around, kind of like moving like this on screen. But that one, I had to. I'm very sorry. I didn't want to bust your thoughts, but yeah, that one.
No,
You don't want to hear me.
I want it on record that when I mentioned that Aiden O'Connell might not make the roster, that I doubled up Captain Jack. I doubled him up.
Well, see, and that's not a. I can see that. I don't. I think it's going to eventually happen. But I don't. I think Cam Miller's safe, like you said. I think Cam Miller is making the roster because I don't think that they want to. What's the word I'm looking for? Put him on the practice squad where somebody else can pick him up. So his roster spot is safe. I actually think that the Vegas quarterback, and I think he's probably going to be on the practice squad, but he might end up being our number 3 quarterback after Cam Miller. It's very.
I agree with you.
what's where I think it's very dicey to go into training camp or actually in the regular season with a rookie quarterback as your number 2 quarterback. Now, if I remember correctly, there was a certain quarterback that played for the Seahawks that was signed the year that I'm going to say this for Sharif, Derek Dallas Carr was drafted, when Derek Dallas Carr ended up getting the spot, and the guy who is a Matt Damon lookalike was our backup. So I can see that if Gino is our quarterback. Oh, thank you, dear. Yeah. Thank you, there, Anna. I'm actually out of effing mustard, so I got to remember to get some mustard. I will. Yeah, mustard packs. Thank you, there, honey. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm getting off this, but thank you, Anna, for reminding me. Remind me to get some mustard, Tom, before we go.
Get mustard.
But yeah, the last words out of your mouth, Fester, is get mustard, and then
mustard,
email me
yes.
too.
I got you.
I can see that. I mean, because Gino is a quarterback that has that niche, right? And Cam Miller is kind of that quarterback. And Aiden O'Connell is not. And I like Aiden O'Connell. I really do. But, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if either Cam Miller gets put on the IR like they did with our punter the one year that we kept the punter. We still had the kid out of A&M, Shane Leckler, and we kept King. King was on the IR for a year with a hangnail. I know it wasn't a hangnail. It was probably the cramp that I just had in my leg, but they really kept him on just to keep him. And they said, "Don't worry, we're going to pay you. You're coming back," and all this other stuff. I can see something like that for Cam Miller because they don't want to lose him. So if Aiden O'Connell makes it, then I can see, Cam Miller maybe having a bad hangnail that puts him on the IR or something like that. I can see that. Yeah, it is a gasp. Shreve was saying gasp. But as long as Geno Smith remains healthy, we are going to win so many games that people don't count us to win. That's why I say, the 8 wins, 9 wins, that's more palatable because Geno Smith and the offense that we should have. Granted, the offensive line is the issue this year. It's not the receiving core. It's not the running backs. The running backs are considerably better. It's the offensive line. And that's going to be where the Raiders are make or break on scoring points. Oh, and before I forget, because it's been in my mind, Sharif was correct. He told me a long time before that Wilkins was a waste of money. And I said but I also said that you can't foresee injuries. And when Wilkins was playing, he was playing up to that contract. But you can't foresee injuries. And so he was worth every bit of that contract until he got hurt. So if he's gone for another year, that's a bummer. But that's not on the Raiders. It's not on Wilkins. It's just that he got hurt at an inopportune time. I remember that Jacoby Ford got hurt and his career was, just went down after the same injury that, McFadden had, that lifts Frank. So I'm not saying that, that Wilkins has the same injury, but it is a Jones fracture, which whatever that is. So it's a foot injury. So it's very debilitating. And, so if we gotta eat a year on him, that's fine. But he is worth the money when healthy. When Devin White is healthy, he's worth the money. So I'll just say that as well. And I think I'm done. I think Mustard.
I think Marshawn Lynch had a foot injury. I think that's what ended his career. Was that a knee?
I think it was a knee.
Was it a
I think
knee?
it was
Okay.
a knee.
I was thinking it was a foot injury, but maybe knee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, he was very productive when he had the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. You will look it up after the show, and you'll tell me yes, it was either a knee or it was.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll be older. But you know what? Geno Smith was older, but if you don't have if you got a lot of tread on the tire, age is just a number if you keep up physically. So, it's unfortunate that you can't. Wilkins had a breakout year, and those are the contracts you got to look away. It's like, he's playing for a contract, but as you also said, so is 51, who's playing for a contract next year. So that's why you got to be aware of Coons being in a contract year. Those players, you got to scratch your head sometimes whether that they are worth it or not. Hopefully, my Charlie horse is gone. But yeah. Pulled groin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking it up right now to confirm that.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
But he didn't have a Charlie horse to show. Yeah,
he had a knee injury. He had a knee injury when he was with Seattle.
Okay.
But the injured reserve was a groin injury. Yeah. So that's what knocked him out with the Raiders. So absolutely right. Yep.
I gotta get mustard.
Groin injury for 32-year-old running backs doesn't work so well.
No.
Doesn't work out so well.
And yeah, so like I said, I agree with Matt. If you keep your body in shape, it's good. It's obviously your mind. There's a certain player that said he was going to play till he was like 40. He didn't make it. I think he's a part owner, but if there's a lot of tread on the tire, good for them.
Yeah, we don't need any more Gandalf the Brady's. We don't need a Gandalf the Brady as quarterback.
Hey, I got a question for you as well. What are your thoughts on Mike Hilton coming in to be that extra corner, or was he? I don't think he's signed yet. I think he's still available.
No, he's not signed yet.
I know.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Jury's out on that one. I have to do a little bit more research on that, but I'm not sure that really is lighting my fire initially.
Well, he's not as pricey as Ramsey, and Ramsey is a me guy.
Yeah,
I know he is, and we were talking about it on that show we had the other day with the mostly Charger crowd. They want to bring him into Charger land, and I'm saying, really, you want Jalen Ramsey to be with Derwin James to get that FSU vibe together? Those will be the most egotistical that you can't. The locker room will have to be enlarged for both of them, because you put both of them there at one time, it's not happening. But
I would take Jalen Ramsey for a year. I'd take Jalen Ramsey for a year.
Yeah, he'd have to be on a very low contract. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if he wanted to play for Pete Carroll, maybe. Well, again, the coach, I think, has a lot to do with it. So we're in a situation now where you might have some players who want to come play for Pete Carroll. We didn't have players that wanted to come in and play for Antonio Pierce. We certainly didn't have players that wanted to come in and play for McDumbass.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't even have to say that last one. Yeah, no, nobody wanted to play for them.
Yeah.
So, but we
all right. Well, I'm going to have to.
That. be the leader.
I'm going to have to back out of here in a few minutes, but before I do, let me throw it out to you again, Jack. What questions do you have for me here?
Well, pretty much I answered them. Like I said, I wanted to know who you thought were gonna be our defensive backfield, and like I said, it's a shame. It's a shame that Chris Smith is not getting a sniff. I would have thought that Chris Smith, maybe it's because he's undersized in comparison to Polamalu. But, he is a little bit undersized in comparison to Isaiah Polamalu. But he was such a fantastic player with the Bulldogs. And again, yes, I am an SEC guy, so my bias is here for that. But it's just a shame that he's not getting any time. And being an SEC honk, and I said this. I said Amari Burney wasn't given a fair shake. I still kind of believe that. I think that he was immediately picked up. I think Tennessee picked him up immediately when he was cut loose. And Matt Marinovich says it all. Pete likes his DBs big, bigger, and oh my God. So.
Which is why I think that Darian Porter is going to end up at one of those two starting spots because he's 6'3", and he's got 4.3 speed. You that doesn't grow on trees. You don't have tall corners that have sprinter speed. So you can say what you want, and he might get burned a couple of times, but he's not going to get burned deep a lot, not with that kind of speed. Again, that's just why I think he's going to be a breakout player, even though he's a rookie. I think he's going to maybe, if not starting as a corner, I haven't penciled in as one of those corner spots.
Yeah. And what do you have the measurables for Jacorian Bennett? Because I think he's on the average to maybe undersized. Yeah. I know he's not smart size like Amik. And boy, I tell you, Amik Robertson would have been a Pro Bowler with the Raiders had he been 6'1". The guy has all of the but he's small.
He's 5'11", 195. So again, not short, but just average height, and not a real big guy, but that's 5'11", 195. So
JJ
probably
Stokes
a little on the
6 foot. Is that our? I thought JJ Stokes was the wide receiver for the Niners.
Yeah. You mean Eric Stokes? Eric Stokes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes is 6 foot 194. So he and Jacorian Bennett are pretty much the same. He's got a little bit of a height advantage on Jacorian Bennett, but yeah. So you're looking at 6 feet 194. And again,
I used to be 6 foot, not anymore. I've shrunk, and with all of my knee and back problems, I'm getting smaller. I'm getting smaller. I'm hoping that maybe when I have my knee surgery, I can have that surgery like the Klingon guy did, and become bigger. Where they okay, I know I'm throwing in some sci-fi here, but they had an episode in one of the Star Trek things where they made this guy the same guy, but they had to make him 4 inches taller in order for him to resemble the guy that he walked into. So they put 4 inches of rebar into his legs. So maybe when they redo my legs, they can put some rebar in there, and I'll be, 6'2" would be good. 6'2", and then I wouldn't be so damn fat.
Or you could just wear lifts. Could do that. Now, see, I was hoping that when they did both of my knees and knee replacements, that they would make them bionic, and then I could be like the $6 million man and run like run like a sprinter.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got to talk to me about that knee replacement surgery because that's on my horizon. And I've spoken with Ed Winchell about it. I said, until the Raiders are mathematically eliminated,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to push back that surgery because it's about. I figure I'm going to need them both done, so I figure 4 or 5 months, for each. So I want to get the tail end of the recuperation right before next season. Right before next season. So maybe I'll be getting over, that second knee surgery by the start of next season. Because hey, I got to be somewhat.
You let me know.
Go ahead, Tom.
Rehab sucks, but rehab is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to go through the pain and suffering of rehab, and it sucks, but it's worth it on the other end. So my goal is I told everybody at school my goal is to play in the staff faculty basketball game next spring, and that's what I have on my list. So I've already got my basketball out dribbling. I played in college 40 some years ago, but time and mileage have kind of ravaged this old body.
I tell you, and Ed Winchell says it's going to be a bit. So he knows about it. Other people know about it. I'm walking now with my walker. Yeah. It still hurts, but I have my knee thingies not on me now because I can't have them on all they're just very confining and they hurt after a while. So I got to take them off. But yeah, I'm using the braces and all that shit. So hey, so the guy, so us old dudes who know things who have bad knees are telling you about the Raiders. So at least you remember that. Now remember the difference between us is that I don't look like Uncle Fester.
There you go. There you go. You got more hair than I do.
Yes, I do.
Yep. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
But hey, Tom, get the light bulb and get your Raider Fester jersey. I'm looking forward to seeing that for week 3.
Absolutely. Listen, let's stay in touch. Let's do this thing again. I'm going to be off on vacation next week. I'm actually going to be in enemy territory. I'm going to be in Denver next week. So I've got family there. So I'll be right in the heart of Bronco country. But after that, I'll be raring to go. So let's jump back on and do this thing again.
Yes. Let's do that again sometime in July. At least another show in July. And again, it's always a pleasure. I don't like doing. I mean, let me rephrase that. It's nicer when I have somebody to talk to as a co-host with callers coming in eventually for the second half of the show. You guys get sick of me just reading comments and getting people to come in. And I know Sharif wants to come in. And thank God Matt Marinovich is always in the comments and Ed Winchell's in the comments. And thank God for Anna and Dory and anybody else that pops in. I appreciate you more than you know, and I thank you. And hats off to you there, Tom, as well for what you do.
Tell you what we'll do. What we'll do next time. Tell you what we'll do next time. I'll weave a couple of stories for you from days of old, days of yore.
Okay.
We'll go back and uncover some little nice little nuggets in Raider history that some of the people out there may not be familiar with.
Okay. And I need to get some Golden's mustard packets. I don't like yellow mustard. So if I'm going to have mustard
packs.
If I'm going to have mustard, it's got to be Golden's because I don't like yellow mustard. It works, I'm sure.
Go stone ground. Get some stone ground mustard. Get some good old German stone ground mustard. That'll work.
Okay. Yeah, that's so like even would Grey Poupon work?
No, that's a Dijon. You want something like a Weyerhofer's or something that's a good old stone ground mustard. Got maybe a little bit of horseradish seed in there.
Ooh, I like horseradish.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have it.
Yep.
Oh, it has to be
Go to-
mustard packet.
Go to your German section and get to it has to be mustard packets. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, go to any delicatessen and see if they have any German mustard in packets. And that's what you go with. Something of stone ground mustard variety.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Jack,
I'll
take
get
care.
it.
All
Thank you
the
there,
all the
Tom.
listeners
I know
and
you have
viewers
to
out
pop
there,
out.
have a great week. And in case I don't talk to you, happy Al Davis 4th of July birthday day. There we go.
There you go.
All
Blessing,
right.
Al.
You all
Thanks again,
take care.
Tommy. We'll see you on the next show, brother.
Take care. All right. You'll see you
got it.
later.
Hoorah. That's T3 Thom Jones, a.k.a. Raider Fester. And Anna says it at best as well. You have a wonderful evening. You do that, Tom. I'm going to put, yes, Positive Philly. I'll put the link up. I had it ready to go. In fact, I will push it right there. So there's the link. If you want to come in and talk, and I thank you, Sharif, saying that you will come in. I know Sharif would come in, and thank you for that. Anna, Anna, it's always good seeing you. It's great. I'm glad that you're. I'm hoping that you're feeling a lot better. So I will I'll need to get some mustard packets. I've had the cramps though. The cramps are just been horrible. But Positive is I mean, he's like popped in, ready to go. Not much been going on here in Vegas. Except yes. Stay hydrated, Anna. I don't know if you can see it, but this is like zero water, and I have like the crystal water. I'm drinking a lot of this. I'm not drinking as much of the I'm drinking tea, but I'm drinking more of the no sugar flavored water. So I'm doing that. So you take care. You and your brother, or not brother. You and your brother, yeah, but you and your family and Juan take care over there. Miss Tana, 44. Oh, I remember. Yeah, hey, there's my darling. Good to see you, Tana. That is a beautiful, wonderful hairstylist in Vegas. So blessings to, I waved at Miss Tana. Thank you for coming here again. It's always a pleasure to have you out here. I hope you got my message. I actually sent you a message on your phone. So let me know if you got it. And Anna, you be sure to take care over there. I will get some mustard packets. Getting ready for the grandbaby. Grandbaby number 4. Outstanding. Okay. Well, we're keep going on it. I'm going to bring in Positive Philly, who's being positive. I don't know about being positive when the Phillies have lost 3 in a row and they had oh shit, what did you drop? Oh my god, I had him on. I didn't hit the link thing, or I didn't move it. There you go. Okay. Yeah, 3 in a row to the Astros. And I think if I'm correct, it was a 9, 18, 19. It was like 26 innings where they didn't score a run. 26 straight innings where they didn't score a run. And thank God they scored a run. I didn't see the game, but I saw the breakdown, top of the 8th, to tie it up at 1, and then they lose, bottom of the 8th. The Astros scored another run. I didn't watch today's game, so I was doing a bunch of cleaning up around the house. Tana, come back in.
How you doing, Captain Jack?
I'm good, brother. And nice Eagles hat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I was trying to get a hold of you. I am trying to, and I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about when I come back from New England, the first game. The Phillies are playing the Mets that Monday.
When? What's the date?
Whatever the Monday the first Monday night game of the season is, it's that date. I'm going to be driving from Providence, and Philly's about, I want to say 5 or 6 hours, maybe. I'm hoping I don't get caught in traffic, but I want to go early out of Providence just to make sure I don't get caught in traffic. I want to go into Philly, and I want to. Oh my God, it's ever something, dude. It's the Mets series with the Phillies.
Or if I'm going to meet Captain Jack, I got to make sure my schedule is cleared so I can be there to meet the amazing guy.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But try to clear your schedule.
I assume that's why you're asking, right? You want to meet me?
Yes, it'd be good. And the other thing is that AK, the gentleman that was on that other show, like the NFL talk, out of Philly, I'm gonna be meeting him and hanging out with him. He also wanted me to go to, what was it, a tailgate for the preseason, or the one game where they have fans go watch the Eagles.
The open practice. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, I might do that. I have to see if I can do that. So if I do that, I'll let you know too.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I go to that every year.
Okay.
So
yeah,
if I go there, I can't really tell you what. I can't really tell you what my schedule is going to be looking like anymore. I just got offered a new opportunity, which is really, really, really good for me. I'm really excited. I don't want to say too much information, but I might be covering a Philadelphia sports team. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I want good things to happen to you. So, sir, I will say this. It was Sonic Ambitious is over there on Instagram. Thank you for being there, Sonic. Come on over to YouTube, please come over to YouTube. It is my dream and desire to be covering the Raiders since I was young. And it only took me, up until this amount of time to do it. And I'm still not covering the Raiders, officially. I'm doing it unofficially. So for you to get a job where you were covering a Philadelphia sports team,
it's
awesome.
It's not a paid internship, but that's that's okay. It's an internship, and it's getting me experience, and something I've always dreamed of. So
yes, that's the point. It's an internship, and it opens up doors. It opens up doors. So I don't say anymore. Don't say anymore. I hope it happens, but keep me advised. Keep me advised. So why are we talking tonight? What, the Phillies are, I think, a half game behind.
Why are we talking tonight? The Philadelphia Flyers have gotten Trevor Zegras, Captain Jack.
Okay.
Let's go. I've been calling for this kid for years. I want to say years. Since last year, I remember I was down in Mexico, and I did a video about the NHL trade deadline saying bring Trevor Zegras to the Flyers. And now, over a year later, he's finally here. Danny Briere basically, can I be inappropriate on here or no?
Sure, you can cuss.
It's not cussing. He basically pulled down his pants, waved his nuts in front of the entire league, and say, "Look at what I just did. I just got Trevor Zegras." That's exactly what he did to put the league on notice.
Okay.
I mean, that's how somebody described it to me. So that's how I'm describing it to you.
I like that. He pulled down his pants, waved his nuts, and look at what I just did. But granted, if you're waving your nuts, you're also flapping your schlong. So it's more than just the nuts. It's a whole full schlong testicle wave job. So now enlighten me, because I am not up on all of the people that I should be. Who is Trevor Zegras?
So he's 24 years old. He played for the Anaheim Ducks, and he's a great player. He does have some things where he needs to improve on. I've heard he needs to improve on his face-offs, and he can get he got 12 goals last year. Actually, hold on, I had a whole document written down about him, whole information about him.
Is he a centerman or a winger?
So he's listed as a center, but he plays the wing. He's just 24 years old, and he will bring so much value and asset to the team. He is in 2024-2025 season. He recorded 12 goals, 20 assists, combining for 32 points.
Okay.
And when asked starting, he's a center / wing. How do you project him with the Flyers? Danny Briere responded saying, "That's more of a question for the newly acquired head coach Rick Tocchet. He's going to decide where he fits best and what they have." So I'm excited. I'm definitely doing a lot more with the Flyers this year than I have in the past. They're not the team I'm going to be covering, but I'm getting more into them and I'm covering them for a sports network, but not professionally. So yeah.
No, that's fine though. But it's like, and I was looking. I'll have to see, because September is a little early for hockey season, is it not?
Yeah, September's like preseason.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to come up for a Flyers game too. So I'll look to see where the
I'm
I'm
trying to get to at least 5 Flyers games this year, if not more.
Okay, I'm going to go see where the Raiders have their bye week is kind of in the middle of the season. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like week 9. It's like right near the middle part of the season. Oh, and Anna is a hockey aficionado. Okay, she is a fan of the VGK. And I still want to get a Golden Knights, a gray Golden Knights jersey because I like the gray, and I think that's their alternate, Anna. So let me know. I think it's the alternate jersey. Anna wants to know, how does he play well with others? You know, the Zegras kid.
I don't really know that. I think he's a good team leader. I will tell you this: him and Jamie Drysdale used to play together in Anaheim. They do everything from peeing with each other, from sleeping with each other. So they have a really good relationship. So yeah.
Okay, I'm not touching that one about with all the things that they can do with each other, but yeah.
I mean, it's basically just saying that they're really good friends.
They're tight. They're good. They're buds. They're buds. But yeah, Drysdale is. I loved it when we picked Drysdale up. So, Zegras is the man. And Anna actually does bring up something. Where are the Flyers picking in the draft?
So that's interesting that you say that. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I know they have, Anna, I'm pretty sure they have a higher pick.
So they have a lot of first round picks. They have the 6th pick. I want you to count as I'm saying these. They have the 6th pick.
Uh-huh.
They have 22. 31. That looks to be it.
Okay, now are those considered first round picks?
22,
They have 3 picks in the first round.
31.
6, 22, and 31.
I'm trying to see if there's any other. I thought I read it earlier and there was one more. Yeah, that looks to be it for now.
Okay. Maybe the Flyers had to give up one of their first rounders for the Zegras kid.
Number 6 is our pick. 22 we got from Colorado. 31 we got from Edmonton.
Okay. But hey, 3 first round picks. And again, I like the way that Briere is going to handle making this franchise a lot better. And again, when you put Briere with Rick Tocchet, it's kind of like, and I know that for Raiders fans, you might not understand this, but when the Raiders got Pete Carroll as their head coach, getting Rick Tocchet as the coach of the Flyers is going from Tortorella was, I don't even know what I can say about Tortorella. but
Captain
he
Jack.
wasn't all
also,
that.
I want to let the people know Positive Philly's selling sports cards. Okay. So
Okay.
we take Venmo and cash if you're interested.
What type of sports cards?
Anything. We have wrestling, football, hockey, basketball. If I get some Raiders ones, I'll hit you up and you can buy some Raiders ones.
Sure.
Would you want some?
That's not bad. Yeah, I wouldn't mind them if they're not exorbitant. Sure.
Let me see if I have any on me now. Hang on. I have over 500, so I probably have some.
Okay. You get back to me. You got my phone number, I'm pretty sure, don't you?
Yeah, I got Philly sports ones too. I got some Philly sports ones you would probably like.
Okay.
But I bet you looking for Raiders one right now for you.
Okay.
So for those of you guys, if you guys are interested, hold on, I just saw something. If you guys are in, here you go.
I see Derek Carr. Who's the? Is that a Derek Carr card, or is that somebody else?
It's just the Raiders card in general from 2014.
Oh, that's cool. I like that it's a Raiders card. That's nice.
So if you guys are in the tri-state area, in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area, tomorrow night, I'm not 100% sure, but tomorrow night I will most likely be at Chickies and Pete's in Glassboro, New Jersey for the WIP Puck It Up Draft Party with Hunter Brody. So if you're interested, come on out to Chickies and Pete's in Glassboro, New Jersey on Rowan Boulevard for some Flyers hockey, Flyers draft, beer, and food.
Khalil Mack. Okay. I pick up a Khalil Mack. I won't wear his jersey until he's a retired or Josh Jacobs.
Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray. Okay, yeah. And Latavius, I've met Central Florida kid.
So yeah, if anybody wants any, just you guys can text me.
Yeah.
Hit me up on IG or something, and I can get you my Venmo, and you guys can buy them. I'm trying to sell as many as I can.
Yep. Send me a message on my phone.
And I also want to collect them as well. So
I got you. But but getting back to the draft, so the Raiders, the Flyers have the 6th, the 20, the 20 something, and the 31. That's 3 picks in the first round. Phillies. Why are you selling your Phillies jersey?
what?
EMAC has he just bought a Phillies jersey. And he says, "Who you want my Phillies jersey? I may sell it." Well, first off, it's got to be like a triple.
I'm gonna get it. I'll buy it.
Yeah, EMAC can get with Positive Philly. EMAC from the
Sneaky G show.
The Sneaky G show. Yeah, get with EMAC. He says he has a Phillies shirt, so we can do that.
Text me, Mac 856-226-4686. Send me a text.
856-246.
No, 856-226-4686.
Okay.
Your chat. Hold on.
Wait, private chat. Okay, I'm going to go
care.
to private. EMAC is in that.
Hold on, right here.
EMAC's in it.
Here, so the people can screenshot this.
Okay, EMAC. I'll bring him on.
Can anyone hear me?
EMAC.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
How you guys doing?
Good. Who's the jersey,
good.
buddy?
What? Uh-oh. Did he drop? Okay. EMAC, it says you need to connect your mic and cam. You were there. Why did you disconnect? So get your mic and cam back. Uh-oh. I did not kick EMAC out. It says they will need to connect their mic and cam before you can add them to the stream. So, shit. Go back and get your mic and cam squared away. But Yeah, and get that information for anybody. But yeah, put those Raider cards aside there, Paz, and I'll if they're not too exorbitant, I'll take them off your hands for you.
Yeah, of course. You got to, cost money.
That's what I said, but not too exorbitant.
Yeah,
Not
it
too
depends. I
exorbitant.
got it. It depends. I'll let you know what I can, what I get, what they're valued at, and we'll talk when we meet up.
Okay. Yep.
But
Yep. I
Cap,
mean,
I'll definitely meet you this summer. Even if you're not an Eagles fan, you're still represent some of the Philadelphia teams. Have you ever been to our stadium in Philly? You've been out there, right?
no, I have not been to the link.
Okay.
I have not been to the link. I have been to CBP. So I'm looking forward to going back to CBP.
So I'm going to try to get credentialed for the open practice. I won't be able to get you credentialed with me because you're a Raiders fan. That I will not do that.
That's
but
fine.
I will be tailgating at 4th and John, lot G2. So if you want to meet some cool ass Eagles fans, have a few brews, kick it with some Eagles fans, come in your Phillies gear, and nobody will know you're a Raiders fan. Just don't talk about the silver and black, and you'll be good. Save that for December when you come back.
I can meld. And again, I'm not gonna. If somebody says, "Well, who do you like on the Eagles?" I'll say, "Well, I'm not really an Eagles fan," and I won't bring it up. But if they're gonna, if they ask me, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna, keep.
Tell them your all-time favorite Eagle. Who's your all-time favorite Eagle?
Probably either Harold Carmichael or Wilbert Montgomery.
There you go. Tell them that. And be honest. Tell them you're a Raiders fan. Be like, I'm a Raiders fan. I'll see you back here in December.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's what you say.
And now I'll ask them, said, how long have you been an Eagles fan? They'll say forever. I said, oh, really? Who was the Eagles quarterback in the 70s before Jaworski? Because I know who it was. Okay.
Shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Who was it?
Look this up. Okay. Pete Liske. Last name is Liske, Liske, and then also Mike Barilla, Borryla, Mike Barilla. They were the quarterbacks of for some dismal teams in Philadelphia.
Right. Okay. You got to check that podcast out, Captain Jack.
Nasty Knuckles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flyers podcast.
I'll do that.
Riley Cote and Derek Sittlemeyer. Good friends of mine.
Okay. Hey,
Riley Cote?
No. One last thing there, Paz. Who scares you most in your in your division this year that you were going to have to contend with as an Eagles NFC East guy?
Washington, but I think we beat.
Okay. Nobody else? You don't think? Oh, I think the Giants are going to suck, and I think Dallas is going to suck. So I think you're pretty okay there. But yeah, Washington. Okay.
You're going to see a repeat champion for the first time in years, Captain Jack, with that division.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying we're going to go to Super Bowl. I don't want us to go to Super Bowl because I don't, if we do win it, that's great. But there's other teams that I'd rather, as a football fan, there's other teams I'd rather see have a Super Bowl. As a Philadelphia sports fan, I'd rather have my Flyers or my Sixers win championship before I see the Phillies, before I see the Eagles win another one. I've already seen the Eagles win 2 in my life. They're my favorite team. I can stand behind that. I've never seen the Phillies, Flyers, or the Sixers win one. Yes, the Phillies won one in 2008. I was too damn young to remember. So.
Yeah, I was going to say the Phillies won in 2008.
That's the reason why I don't want the Eagles to win again. I want to see my other teams win.
Okay.
I think that's.
I remember the Flyers win it in 74 and 75. So that's the last time I saw the Flyers win. And the Eagles, or not the Eagles. I'm sorry, the Sixers. I remember when Jay and Moses Malone and the Jones brothers. They're not brothers, but I said the Jones brothers, Andrew Toney, Mo Cheeks, those guys, And yeah, I remember Bill Berge, Sharif. I remember Bill Berge, number 66. Yeah, man. Bill Berge was the shiznit. And he was like, Bill Berge was the Ray Nitschke type for the Eagles. He would tackle his mother if she had the ball. And, great guy that he was. Was it Cleveland, Clell, and Jeslin? Okay. Clee and Jeslin. Okay, there. Oh, thank you for watching me over there on Instagram. Come on over to YouTube. Hey, Paz, I'm going to get off the line here, but send me that information. Give me a text, brother, okay?
Appreciate you. I'll put my number in the chat so people can text me about my cards.
Okay,
is
do that. Do that.
Is that okay? All right.
You got it.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Bye.
All right. That's Positive Philly. He's going to put some stuff in the chats. EMAC, I can't add to the stage. Oh, yeah. Okay. It said okay. EMAC, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. It said that you had to add your microphone. So I guess you got that fixed.
I apologize, Cap. I was probably coming back from work and I had crappy service from where I was at. Phone service.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Yeah, I just got.
What Philly jerseys are you trying to get rid of? I don't understand that. You showed me your Phillies jersey the other day, and I said that was cool. So you don't want it? You don't want it now?
Well, I'm not sure if I'll have the time to wear it. Don't get me wrong. I love the jersey.
Why would you wear it?
I don't know. To be honest,
keep it. I mean, other than Positive, you'll take it off your hand. But yeah, keep it, man. I tell you what, I will show you something. Okay. Yes, I'm wearing shorts. These are Zubaz, Zubaz. These are Zubaz. Okay.
Yeah.
They were big in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They were big in the 80s. I saw this one along with I got another pair of Zubaz shorts, which is in a bin of old Raider gear. The other Zubaz shorts I can't wear. It's way, way too small. Mm-hmm. But these stretch. So you can always wear, or if not, you can always sell your old shit. So keep your Phillies, because there's going to come a time. Trust me, there's going to come a time where you're going to say, "Man, I wish I had that Phillies jersey."
Yeah,
that's it. But, well, I'm coming up on time there, EMAC. What do you want to talk about real quick? And thanks for doing what you do.
And yeah, I'm not really planning on trolling for probably a while until I have a good thought of what to troll on, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I gave you enough shit, so. And then also Go ahead, Jack.
You're cool, but it's I don't mind trolls, but like I said, you got to have substance. Got to have substance. And Piano Man he did not have any substance. And I had to boot him not only from YouTube, I booted him from Instagram, and I booted him the couple times that he was on Facebook. And this person that is Melody, I don't know you, or I don't remember knowing you. There's a girl on Facebook saying, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?"
That's probably Piano Man, I'm guessing.
Probably. But it's a good-looking girl. I'm not just saying that. Go ahead, brother.
Anyway, the Raiders bet that I made, I get to walk away with $258.
If they make the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay, and you put 60 on it?
Yep.
That's not bad.
Yep, and
60
the odds are like 330 plus 330.
When I go out to Vegas soon, I will be putting money on the Raiders making the playoffs, on the over, which I think is 7.5, that's tight. But I mean, if you're going to put money on things, yeah, I'll put it on the over. I'll put it on the Raiders being in the playoffs. I probably will leave it at that.
Anyway, one thing I will say about Pete Carroll, too, the reason why I put that bet, because did you see, I don't know if you saw the Raiders practices or not, of Pete Carroll just hyping up his players and acting all smiling, good personnel and shit?
Yeah.
Something tells me he's going to take the Raiders to the playoffs. And I've been forgetting you guys now have Genty. And you guys got an easy schedule, right?
No. We even though we have a quote unquote fourth place schedule, we play Kansas City twice. Mm-hmm. We play all of our division games. They all went to the playoffs last year. Denver, Kansas City, and Los Angeles. They all went to the playoffs. We're also playing the Commanders and the Eagles.
You guys got the Patriots that you guys could beat, but people have been hyping around the Patriots a little lately because the whole Mike Vrabel hire, and then people think Drake May is a good quarterback. And then the pieces that they did for their pickups in the drafts too, which I don't know. I don't think New England is there yet. I like Vrabel, but I don't think they're there yet either.
Well, I hope they don't get it together. They can get it together either after the Raiders play them, or next season,
or they go 0-17.
They would get the first pick in the next year's draft, though.
Oh,
so you can't wish it that.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But they're going to play Buffalo pretty tough, though. They seem to play Buffalo tough, even how bad they are.
Yeah. We'll see it. Hey, partner, I'm about ready to do the closeout, so I wanted to get you on. I'm glad that you got your mic fixed. This
is my first time being on YouTube, too, so.
Yeah, well, welcome over to YouTube, man. It's great.
Yep. Anyway, congratulations to your OKC. And love you, brother. I'll have a good night. And tell Angelo I said hi because I've been missing him a little bit. And let's go Raiders!
E-Mac, good seeing you, brother. Thanks again. Appreciate you being here. That's E-Mac. No more trolls from E-Mac until, and this is according to him, until he has something with substance. And that's great. Ed Winchell, thank you for saying that. Great show. Yeah, we're gonna start our ending. You know, I will be off. You know, definitely by 11 o'clock Eastern. I should say I'm always here, but I try to be here. I at least give you the entertainment that you want, a chance for you to vet and vent and talk. And, you know, I appreciate everybody being. I mean, I know that Sharif's going to be here. I know that Matt Marinovich is going to be here. Good night to you, Anna. Thank you for being here, honey. Dory was over there as my two ladies of the evening. Not two ladies of the evening. I should say, boy, that came out wrong. My two ladies this evening. Oh, my God. Forgive me, Anna. I didn't mean it to sound like two ladies of the evening. It was Freudian, but my two favorite ladies over there. We had Miss Tana over there on Instagram too. Remember, if you need a stylist in Las Vegas, Miss Tana is good. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're laughing. I don't know where that came from. Because and I was waiting for I haven't seen Becky in a while. So if I had Dory and Anna and Becky and China, well, China is definitely not a lady of the evening. You guys aren't either. I'm just saying China would. I mean, obviously, the only thing I would be busting on China would be the fact that we get a chance to see her rack, which is awesome. But boy, I'm at the end of the show. I will see you Sunday, God willing. God willing, I'll see you Sunday. Yeah, no, hey, Emac, it's fun, brother. Yeah, everybody's putting up with you. It's good, but yeah, you're part of the crew. You're part of the crew. It's awesome. And everybody here, like I said, Edward Winchell and Jimmy Furpo came in. So it is an official show because Furpo came in, Matt Marinovich came in. It's an official show. Melody Brooker, I'm sorry. I'll put you up here. Do I know you? If I do, I don't remember meeting you. And I'm sorry for that. And I got to get some mustard. For God, that cramp hit me horribly. Sharif is here. Obviously, Matt Marinovich is here. Got the cramps going. And if I ate somebody, you are baked beans and cabbage. No baked beans and cabbage. It's Irish. The Irish. Oh, faith and be God to you, me brother. But yeah, I like Thom being here. Thom laid down some stuff, the surprise players, the players on the bubble, that was entertaining. So if you're just coming in now, go back and see what you missed. Clayton Heron, my awesome Bronco dude, was here. Thank you, Clayton. And yeah, I will say this: if you're still here, hit the like button, please hit the like button. Because Clayton says that, and I appreciate that. Clayton says smash the like button. I appreciate you if you do. And I gave Sharif props for talking about. Oh, Chewy was here too. I'm sorry. I want to make sure I got Chewy on here as well. And hit Chewy's show. Chewy's got a YouTube show. He's giving away. Marcus was here. As I stated, Dory and Anna. But Chewy has his Chewy's NFL News and Podcast. That's a YouTube channel. Hit that up because he's giving, when he gets 500, I think it's 500 subscribers, he's giving away 2 Raiders hats. So I gotta get that done. I'm gonna be popping off more ways than one. I will see you on Sunday. Have a great weekend upcoming. NHL Draft is this weekend. And remember to be careful, be loving, it just be positive, just like Positive Philly was. So I'm going to be getting out here. You take care. We'll see you on Sunday.